DVB Digital Fast.
Hello and welcome to DVB English News. I'm Nora. Coming up on this special report, the military's UEC announces the USDP will form the next government. Regional and international human rights experts say the polls were not free or fair. The International Court of Justice hears from Rohingya genocide survivors. The US judge pauses the termination of temporary protected status for nearly 4,000 Myanmar citizens. And a Thanjet performance to mark 5 years since the military coup. The military's Union Election Commission has released results confirming the Union Solidarity and Development Party won its elections. As expected, the USDP dominated all three phases of voting, which began on December 28th and ended on January 25th. The USDP took 231 of 263 seats in the lower house and 52 of 78 seats in the upper house, according to the UEC, with the military's allotted 166 seats. This keeps parliament under regime control. Critics reject the election, with the results being predetermined. Tinjor A is an independent Myanmar election analyst.
The outcomes of this election is already written on the wall. This election will not be free and fair. There is a consensus among the international observers as well. So the junta will easily and quickly install the fake civilian government after the first session of the parliament in early April.
Ken Omar is the founder of the Myanmar human rights group Progressive Voice.
We're going to see the sham parliament, and then we will see the sham government. The sham government, of course, is the USDP. So the whole world knows already there is no real people consent and support to this particular so-called political party.
Marcy Behrens is the chairperson of the ASEAN Parliamentarians for Human Rights. She is a member of parliament in Indonesia.
As a chair of Asian parliamentarians, I can raise the issue and call for all the Asian member states, international or global actors to reject, not recognize the sham elections because it is not fair, it is not free, under the gun of junta militaire.
Wong Chen is an APHR member and a Malaysian member of parliament.
We totally reject the sham election that the junta is organizing. Multi-party democracy general election, number one, is not multi-party, it's one party, or they're not even a legitimate party. Second, the democracy element is absolutely missing, and general election is not an election if it's only held in 40% of the country. We reject them. Reject the junta sham election.
APHR urged ASEAN foreign ministers to prioritize the crisis in Myanmar during a meeting in the Philippines this week. It highlighted the absence of a clear strategy beyond the ASEAN 5-point consensus. This is a peace plan Senior General Min Aung Hlaing agreed to in April 2021, but never implemented upon his return to Naypyidaw. The Special Advisory Council for Myanmar, a group of human rights experts, called on countries not to legitimize the military's elections. The International Court of Justice hearings ended this week in the Gambia's case against Myanmar. DVB English News reporter Somin Thain has the latest from the ICJ.
This week, a second round of hearings began in the Rohingya genocide case at the International Court of Justice. It was a closed hearing, but for the very first time, Rohingya survivors shared their stories. The Myanmar military is accused of carrying out genocide in its attacks on the Rohingya in 2017. This led to over 700,000 fleeing their homes in Rakhine State into neighboring Bangladesh. 1.2 million Rohingya now live in refugee camps in Bangladesh, awaiting their chance to return home to Myanmar. Dr. Jallow is Gambia's Justice Minister and Attorney General.
It is not about esoteric issues of international law. It is about real people real stories and real group of human beings, the Rohingya of Myanmar. They have been targeted for destruction.
The region in Naypyidaw rejected these claims, calling it a counter-terrorism operation. Kukulai is the region's minister from the Ministry of the President Office.
Myanmar's front position is that the Gambia has failed to meet its burden of proof. This case will be decided on the basis of proven facts, not unsubstantiated allegations. Emotional language and blurry factual pictures are not a substitute for rigorous presentation of facts.
For DVB English News, I am Somente.
Now to the US, where a federal judge paused the termination of temporary protected status for Myanmar nationals living in the US. TPS is a designation that was given to nearly 4,000 people from Myanmar who couldn't return home after the 2021 military coup. Simon Billinus is the executive director at Campaign for a New Myanmar.
So what we have here is a reprieve. It may be temporary, it may be longer than that, but at least the Burmese refugees who are here in the US right now under the Temporary Protected Status Program, they still have legal status to remain in the US.
Stay tuned to DVB English News for our newsroom interview with Simon Billinus. It will be on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts on Friday, February 6th. To end, let's take a behind-the-scenes look at preparations for a traditional Thanjat performance. These dancers will mark the 5th anniversary of the 2021 military coup on February 1st, with a special broadcast on DVB. The Zenme Thanjat group is a collective of Myanmar students and activists in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Thanjat is traditionally performed during Tinjan, the Myanmar New Year festival. But due to the military's elections and the 5-year coup anniversary, they wanted to begin early this year. And that's it for this special report. Stay tuned to DVB English News for the latest on what's happening in Myanmar. Subscribe to the daily briefing newsletter on our website, english.dvb.no. Follow DVB English News on X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Subscribe to us on YouTube. For DVB English News, I'm Nora. Thanks for joining me.